I'm going to rank each game for Baylor football's 2023 schedule on importance from like the most important as like number 1 to number 12, the least. And I'm going to go over the schedule first. September 2nd is Texas State. September 9th, Utah. September 16th, Long Island. September 23rd, Texas. September 30th, UCF on the road. October 7th, Texas Tech. Of course, the 14th of October, bye week. October 21st, Cincinnati on the road. October 28th, Iowa State. November 4th, Houston. November 11th, Kansas State on the road, the reigning Big 12 champs. November 18th, TCU on the road. And Senior Day, November 25th, West Virginia. And by the way, the homecoming game is against Iowa State. So, now I'm going to start with like at the bottom, number 12, and work my way up to number 1. Number 12 for me is Long Island. It's an FCS opponent. Though you can't take it for granted because it's right after the Utah game. You don't want to ride an emotional high and have a letdown or a hangover after a potential loss to Utah. So, but still, that should be a win. Texas State is number 11 for me. I don't know how good they're going to be. It's game 1 against them, and they're going to have a new head coach. And they did lose their starting quarterback that played against us from last year. That was giving Baylor a little issues. But still, that should be a win. You could debate on number 9 and 10 on this, but number 10 for me is Iowa State. Even though that game's homecoming, that is important. But I don't know I don't think Iowa State's going to be that good. I don't think so. They could very well go winless in the conference. For all I know, their offense is abysmal. And they lost their best wide receiver. The defense is good, but I'm just saying I also wouldn't be shocked if they got back to a bowl like 6-6, 7-5, or even in between. But I'm just saying. West Virginia is number 9 for me. Yes, it's higher because of the senior day factor, but I don't know how much better they're going to be. I mean, they lost their starting quarterback, JT Daniels, but I know they're going to try to do a different offense, like a running style offense with like the RPO. But they lost a lot of wide receivers, but their strength is the running back room. It is. And we know how bad that defense was. And if it wasn't for Blake Shapen getting concussed in that game, Baylor wins that game in Morgantown for the first time. So, and Neil Brown is on the hot seat again. I mean, bowl game, possibly, or he's out. I wouldn't think 8 wins is possible. I wouldn't think so for West Virginia this year. They could very well go 3-9, but as good as 7-5. Still, if they start rough to begin the year, don't be shocked if Neil Brown's fired. Don't be. Now 7-8, you could switch because one of them is a road game, and that's Cincinnati is number 8 for me. First of all, it's on the road. That's kind of why, and I heard some higher on the list up to this point compared to the last 4. I mean, I also don't know what to expect out of Cincinnati. I really, really don't. They have a new head coach. There's some roster turnover. So, I don't really know. But you could put this game higher than what I put at number 7, which is Houston. It's because it's bringing back a rival from the Southwest Conference. That's the only reason why I put them above. After that, you could debate. And I don't really know what to expect out of Houston. They're losing a lot of key pieces, too. I mean, I really, really don't know. So, Number 6 to me is UCF. First of all, it's on the road and they're a better team than Cincinnati coming in this year, in my humble opinion. They have their starting quarterback back. They have the. I know BYU has a stable head coach as well as Houston, but Houston is kind of maybe not Neil Brown, but Dana Holgorsen is on a hot seat, maybe for this year, or they're going to give him another year after this year. I don't know, but Gus Malzahn, is he has some experience in being a Power 5 in a conference as a Power 5 head coach. Not to say Kalani Sitake at BYU doesn't. It's just he's been independent. I mean, it's different to be in a conference than independent. And I know they lost like 10 starters or something like that. So I really don't. They had their quarterback though. I mean, that's dangerous and a good one at that. So I don't know what to expect at UCF, and I just think that road environment is tougher with a better team than Cincinnati is right now. Number 5 is Texas Tech. First of all, it's a homecoming for Joey McGuire to come back, and you could debate this game to be higher on the list. You could. I mean, and not only that, this is a rivalry that's been even. When you look at the wins and losses, it's very, very close. And to explain how close, the all-time record is 41 wins, 39 losses, 1 tie in favor of Baylor. That's not how close it really is. And I expect Texas Tech to be better this year. Of course, their offensive line has to improve. It has to. I mean, and their quarterback situation too. I mean, they got a good quarterback, whoever it is. The problem is they've not been healthy. I mean, so that's kind of another reason. And it, like I said, it's a rivalry game, and it's at home. That it kind of explains why it's not higher on the list, because I don't know if this team is as good as who I'm going to pick, who is number 4 for me. It's Utah is number 4. You can make the case to make Utah higher as well. I don't know the stats on Cam Rising. I really don't. And they're back-to-back Pac-12 champs. And they've been to the Rose Bowl the last 2 years. This is a really good test to see where this team is at. I mean, week 2. It really is. And it wouldn't shock me if Baylor won against Utah, because Cam Rising might not be 100% ready. Even if he is ready, he's going to be rusty. I mean, he might not play in this game. If he does, he might be rusty because he's definitely going to miss all of spring. He might miss a summer too, but I'm going to have to continue to monitor that. And there's nothing new on that situation that I know of. Number 3, it's higher on the list because it's a road game, and it's Kansas State. I know they're losing a few pieces on off. They returned their strong quarterback. That's a good news. And there's some pieces on defense. Now I know their best pass rusher and best cornerback is gone, and it humiliated us last year, 31-3. But Deuce Vaughn is gone. They lost some skill guys. I don't know how good this team is going to be. Maybe a 10-win team again. maybe, but they could very well go 6-6 or 7-5 for all I know. I do expect the game to be a lot closer, though. Though I would give the edge to Kansas State right now because it's, first of all, they beat us in McLean Stadium by 28 points. It's hard to make up that ground. It's really, really hard. And you could debate this to put this higher because they're a better team that going into this year than the number 2 team. And for me, it's TCU. It's a rivalry game. I mean, that's why it's kind of higher for me. It's a rivalry. Though, last few years, very, very tight wins for TCU, and they've been lucky. Lucky. Last year, if they didn't make that field goal and they lost the Big 12 title game, they might have not made the college football playoff. They were right there, and they made the kick as time expired. Run onto the field with no timeouts. But they're losing 79% of the production on offense in terms of touchdowns. I don't know how good this team is going to be. I mean, they got a brutal back half of the schedule. That's even one game before the bye week. They could very well miss the bowl. But, and you know, Kaz Kazadi is there, as well as Kendall Briles and Carlton Buckles. All those worked at Baylor under Art Briles. Of course, number 1 for me, there's no debate on this. You have to put Texas number 1. It's the last time you're going to play Texas in football for a long time. I mean, it's also the last time you're going to ever get to play them in McLean Stadium in forever and a day. I mean, you know, scheduling for non-conference games goes years in advance. So, and they do return a lot. I mean, their only real big loss is running back, with the best 2 running backs gone. They are going to have a good quarterback no matter what. But maybe the good news is you get to play them early. And I know their defense is going to be... They did lose a few guys to the draft too. I mean, just a few. Some guys, so like Overshown, Ojimo, and one other defensive lineman as well. I mean, to the draft. Still, you gotta put them on the list, and they're going. And you know they're not gonna play. They're not gonna likely play you again for years, whether it's there in Austin or in McLean Stadium. Anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Let's get me at 5 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go. And how would you rank the importance of the games in terms, like, in your opinion, like based on toughness or emotion to it, or rivalry, or a mixture of all the above? How would you do it?